What's up, guys? Frosty Osty0232 here to do another Frosty Features. This week, Marvel Strike Force has announced that we will be getting Madeline Pryor in the game. So we're going to talk about a little bit of who Madeline Pryor is, where she comes from, etc., right? So I'm going to be dipping into a few different histories here. Madeline Pryor is kind of complicated because she ties in very heavily with certain characters that you may or may not already know. So I'm going to try to be really thorough in going through what she says. Alright, so here we go, Madeline Pryor. So, that's a picture of Madeline Pryor. That is actually one of her less revealing costumes. So Madeline Pryor, who is she? Madeline Jennifer Pryor, right? So, to start it off, she is a clone of Jean Grey. You should know that. That's the most important thing to know right off the bat. She's a clone of Jean Grey, cloned by Dr. Nathaniel Essex, or better known to the Marvel Strike Force community as Mr. Sinister. So he named her Madeline Pryor, and Jennifer is a kind of harken back to Jean Grey's name. First appearance, Uncanny X-Men 168, 1983. Uncanny X-Men traditionally is led by Cyclops, and Madeline Pryor, her entire existence revolves around that of Cyclops and the Summers family. So we're going to dive into the Summers family a lot in this. Mr. Sinister's main focus as a character is the Summers family, because, I guess I'm going to say it now, he focuses on the Summers family because he has noticed in Cyclops' line, the mutants, as each generation comes out, they become stronger. So Mr. Sinister is convinced that if Cyclops has a kid with another strong mutant, that spawn will essentially be a mutant Jesus and be able to take out Apocalypse. So that's why he focuses very heavily on Jean Grey, and he focuses heavily on Scott Summers. So that's where Madeline Pryor comes in. Powers and abilities. Telekinesis, telepathy. Those are the base powers of Jean Grey. So she has the base powers of Jean Grey. They don't manifest as strong as Jean Grey. At least perceptively, we don't think that right away. She gets them later in life. She actually, typically mutant powers kind of manifest when they become teenagers. Hers didn't, so Mr. Sinister just kept her in a test tube and kind of left her alone until she got like a taste of the Phoenix Force, essentially, kind of reached out to her and it manifested her mutant abilities. Then she got kind of pulled out of the of her test tube situation and became a person, and we'll get into that a little bit more in a minute. So she also does sorcery. So big thing about Madeline Pryor, big difference between Madeline Pryor and Jean Grey is that Madeline Pryor ends up dabbling in the dark arts. She has a mystic background, right? She is a mutant, but she also has a mystic background. So she does use spells. She's not as strong as like an Agatha Harkness. She's not like she's not a witch per se. She is a mutant that can use magic. Once again, not like Scarlet Witch, who is a magic user who also happens to be a mutant depending on the canon you subscribe to, but Madeline Pryor is a mutant that can use magic. Her magic is just something she can do. It's not overwhelmingly powerful, but it's not anything to forget about. She also has powers related to the Phoenix Force, so that she has the Phoenix Spark. And so essentially, if the Phoenix isn't preoccupied with Jean Grey or anybody else, Phoenix really likes to play around with Madeline Pryor because she's pretty much Jean Grey. Because she's a clone. Alright. Aliases, Goblin Queen. Goblin Queen's pointed out in the blog post. Anadine. Anadine's really important to Madeline Pryor's history. So there's that, and then more recently she's the Red Queen to the Black Queen in the Hellfire Club. Fuck yeah! Coming again, say the motherfucking day, yeah! Nice stuff. What's up, Krakenzo? Alright, Affiliations, Sisterhood of Mutants, mirrors the Brotherhood of Mutants, of course. Hellfire Club, one I just brought up. Sebastian saw the chess pieces, essentially. And the Hellions, which are that's more recent. She's leading the Hellions of Krakoa, right? So that's a more recent thing, and she is she's a part of that. So cool. Background, clone of a New Yorker. So typically on the background I tell you where they're from, kind of what their being raised is. She's a test tube experiment. You're good, Krakenzo. She's a test tube experiment by Mr. Sinister, and she is a clone of Jean Grey, who was a New Yorker. So that's sort of her background. Who died? Dark Phoenix. So, essentially when Madeline Pryor is brought into the world is when she shows up in Alaska and meets Scott Summers, Cyclops. Dark Phoenix dies on the moon. So Jean Grey, evil Phoenix, she dies on the moon, and at that exact moment, the first memory that Madeline Pryor really has is that she survives a plane crash that happened at exactly the same moment. Right? So, essentially, as soon as Jean Grey dies, Madeline Pryor appears. She is not going under the name of Jean Grey, right? At first, when you hear the story, oh, she's a clone, blah, 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 blah. Typically, in Marvel, if they're a clone, they're going to pretend to be that person. She does not. She knows her name is Madeline Pryor, and the whole concept is that she just bears an uncanny resemblance to Jean Grey. Really important thing to know is she has no freaking idea she's a clone right off the bat. She's a hero for a long time. So while she's a hero, she has no clue she's a clone. The finding out that she's a clone really lends herself to becoming the Goblin Queen, right? So, Loki's fire fountain. All right, so in a situation with Loki, I believe this was in either Alaska or Australia. But anyway, the X-Men are fighting Loki, and we're not fighting Loki. Loki's trying to impress some gods of Asgard, like the gods of the gods, right? He's trying to impress them, and so he's trying to prove that he can do nice things, and he creates this thing called a fire fountain, and what it does is people that don't have mystic powers get mystic powers, and that's when Madeline Pryor becomes the aforementioned name Anadine, and she gets the powers to heal. So anyone without powers gets them, right? And so Madeline Pryor just happened to be among them. So she gets the power to be able to heal anything, right? And it's extremely effective to the point where she makes it to where Cyclops' laser eyes don't just shoot. She can control them. So he can pick when to shoot because of her, right? So her powers are really, but they're not mutant powers and mystic, right? So this is the first time Madeline Pryor actually gets to dive into having magic powers, is as her character of Anadine. After a while, though, they find out that it doesn't really work the way Loki intended it, so he kind of lets it back up, and she loses all those powers, and everybody who was cured by her loses that as well, because it couldn't be held forever. So all of those people lose those benefits, they lose their heals, whatever, and so Cyclops, his thing comes back, and Madeline Pryor returns to normal, but that is her first kind of touch on sorcery, which lends us to know that she can control it to an extent, kind of making up for her next thing. Lonely Demons, a breakup / power-up. So, here's the thing about comics. When people die, especially if their name is Phoenix, they don't stay dead, right? Jean Grey doesn't like to stay dead. She dies all the time. So, Madeline Pryor comes in, Jean Grey's dead, Scott, Cyclops, and Madeline Pryor get married, they get pregnant, they have a kid, and then Jean Grey comes back to life. She's like, oh, I'm here. And Cyclops is like, F this, y'all. That's the person I love. I only loved you because you look like her. I'm going with her. So he leaves Madeline Pryor for Jean Grey and his baby. Really good role model, Cyclops. So he leaves Madeline Pryor and his kid to go be with Jean. And at that time, that's when Madeline Pryor actually finds out she's a clone, right? So as she's abandoned, she finds out she's a clone and she starts to go crazy. So as she's going crazy, she is approached by demons in her head, via telepathy, because she does have Jean Grey's powers. And they offer her great power if she does things for them. And what her main goal is to make a link between Otherworld or Limbo with the main Earth, so that demons can more easily cross. So she agrees to that and becomes the Goblin Queen, which is the version of Madeline Pryor we see here next to me. Psych douche. Yeah, Cyclops he's not a great guy. He's like, Cyclops really mirrors Captain America if Captain America was kind of an awful person. So there's that. That's not the only thing Cyclops does wrong, for those of you who are not in the know. But anyway, Madeline Pryor. Relationships. Mr. Sinister, creator. Sort of dad, right? Cyclops. Ex-husband. I just kind of explained that. They do get divorced because of Jean Grey. Jean Grey, genetic template. They fight a lot. She also often tries to kill Jean Grey for obvious reasons. Cable, son, Nathan Summers, the baby I was talking about. That is Nathan Summers, who becomes Cable, right? And who also deals with Madeline Pryor a lot is Cable's alternate universe self, the Apocalypse, Age of Apocalypse, Cable, X-Man, Nathan Gray. He also deals with Madeline Pryor in a temporal astral way. And then Havoc. So one of the ways that Madeline Pryor tries to get back at Scott at Cyclops is to become romantically involved with his brother, who is Alex Summers, Havoc. So notable events. The Marauders. It all comes down here. Midnight says, with great power comes great vengeance. That's absolutely Madeline Pryor saying. So at this point, out of everything I've said, Madeline's evil now, right? So the Marauders. So here's the thing about the Marauders. She is not a part of the Marauders. The tag she has is about the Marauders. She deals with the Marauders a lot, but not in a good way, right? So here's the thing about Madeline Pryor, right? The Marauders are a team that are controlled by Mr. Sinister. So Mr. Sinister sends the Marauders to assassinate Madeline Pryor and her baby, to kidnap the baby and assassinate Madeline Pryor, which they succeed in. They don't kill Madeline, but they succeed in getting the baby. And also later they're sent to kill her again, and instead of that's after she kind of gets her Goblin Queen stuff kind of situated. She becomes a lot more powerful, knows how to use her powers. She beats them all and tortures them all. So this picture right here is a picture of all of them hung upside down and bleeding profusely because she beat the shit out of the Marauders, right? Once again, not leading the Marauders, but fighting them. So also more recently as a Hellion, she brought a bunch of she brought a bunch of dead Marauders back to life to use as a so this is the closest thing to being a part of the Marauders. She brought a bunch of them back to life and used an army of Marauders to attack Krakoa. So that's really her only thing. She really is just the enemy of the Marauders, so it's a weird tag for Marvel Strike Force to give her, but she at least does have a history with them, so there's that. Probably programmed into her to get that summer seed by Sinister. That is actually absolutely programmed into her. That's a big thing with Mr. Sinister, is giving them kind of these mental things, and actually to become pregnant and to marry Scott all was pre-programmed. Good point, Midnight. Next is Havoc. So she has this this relationship with Havoc. She breaks off, and it goes on and off. Her thing with Cyclops kind of falls off with the Jean Grey situation. She hates the fact that the only reason he loved her was because she looked like Jean Grey. She gets really scorned, and so Havoc's really big questionable motives as a character is anytime he runs into Madeline Pryor, their love affair goes on and off. It's kind of really wicked, and even as evil as she gets, Havoc still has a thing for Madeline Pryor. Is it odd that the brother of Cyclops wants to marry a clone of Cyclops' wife? Yes, I wouldn't trust that for a second. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what a red flag is. Alright, let's talk about power levels. So, here's the thing about Madeline Pryor. She showed up a lot, right? And she is the copy of Jean Grey, who is potentially multiversal and definitely universal, at least power. But as demonstrated, Madeline Pryor does not have access to the full power of the Phoenix Force often. When Jean Grey is dead, the Phoenix Force likes to use Madeline Pryor because she's pretty much the same, but not always. So Madeline Pryor is thought to be weaker than Jean Grey. So I will say that for me, by the way I break down the scale. So I say Madeline Pryor is a universal. Multiversal means you could end existence itself, right? In the event that Madeline Pryor had full access to the Phoenix Force, she probably could do something like that, right? Universal means she could put an end to a single universe. It's very doubtful that she'd be able to do it, but it's close enough that I'm giving her the tag. I'll talk about that in a second. Cosmic is planetary devastation. She could take out planets at a time. Nuclear is enough power in a single blast to maybe take out a large city. City is strong enough maybe to take out a couple walls, maybe knock down a building with a little attempt. And Greg, I keep pointing, I gotta flip this. Greg is the undead Asgardian that Hela spawns. Greg, if I had a really strong baseball bat with a couple of nails in it, I'm saying theoretically that I could take out a Greg. Greg is a human. I'm rating Greg at a human power. I get that he's Asgardian. It's just for fun. So Madeline Pryor, Universal. She's got the telepathy. She's got the telekinesis of Jean Grey. Very strong, very potentially deadly. And then she's got mild sorcery. She can summon demons with her contract with the demons to bring them to from Limbo to Earth easier. She has the ability to summon demons. She can reanimate corpses and things like that. She is a big threat, but she is not to the level of like a Doctor Strange who holds reality in their hand. Her mystic powers aren't that strong, but because she can get things like the Phoenix Force, or very often she gets a little taste of the Phoenix Force. You can see it actually in the picture here with her eyes being orange. That's her with the Phoenix Force. So you have to kind of take her powers with a grain of salt. So her powers are definitely between cosmic and universal, but it's on the upper end, and it's not in the comics. It's implied that she's weaker than Jean Grey, but it's not for sure. So we have to, I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt and giving her, she's in between cosmic and universal. I'm saying Madeline Pryor at that universal level, very strong character, lots of cool stuff, a lot of good stuff as far as her background. Definitely check her out in some of those things. That's my Frosty feature. Yeah, so as it, like, subscribe, let me know what I missed or I got wrong in the comments. That's totally chill. I invite that even. Hit me up. Also, I stream on Twitch on Sundays starting at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. That's when we do Frosty features. So come hang out. Give you boy a follow on Twitch. And yeah, that's Frosty Features Madeline Pryor. Thank you all very much and stay cool, y'all.